I'll call this meeting to order. It's Thursday, January 22nd, or January 23rd, 2025, and it's 10:30 a.m. And we're here on Weatherization Project RFP review.
Correct.
And I will turn it over to our grant administrator, Colleen.
Fabulous. So a little background, this is that weatherization grant, that energy efficiency grant that we got from Idaho Office on Energy and Mineral Resources, so OEMR. It was for $79,000 from them and then a $2,000 for us. So the total project is $81,454.94. That is to include replacing the front door and the side door on the ramp. It's to replace all the weather stripping around every window throughout the courthouse. And then in every occupied space, like the conference rooms and offices, it'll be new blinds, energy efficient blinds or some kind of window treatment. So when I created the RFP, they went out and did a whole lot of research on figuring this out, because they really are different scopes. Each one of those, the doors and the windows would be one because one person could do that, and then the draperies was another. But to make sure that we got the best and most responses for our request for proposal, I put each of them in the proposal as you could bid on one or any combination of those three, and then had that confirmed from legal and an Ada County mentor through procurement that those are separate projects. So just sent it out as one RFP just so that we could get the biggest coverage. So I'll set that aside for a minute and then come back to the RFP. So this, in your packet, you would have received what was sent out, how it was done, gave the background where it came from. It had measurements and information on the doors, on the window seals, and in the treatments, how many, what it looked like. I can make copies of those. Yeah, sorry, I emailed that out. But yes, I will make sure that. And then there were also very specific requirements, because this is Department of Energy money coming through the state. And so they required Davis-Bacon, a specific payroll software, the LCD tracker. We did get a waiver for the Buy America, Build America, so that everything has to be locally sourced. We were able to because it was a smaller project. And then the historic preservation. So I've already run that through SHPO and the county or the city through the preservation. So we know that we're all good with that. They have their feedback that they would like to make sure that it looks a certain way, the doors look a certain way, but we got all that covered on those side. And then it was the terms that it would just be the most efficient cost for the county, and the timeline on how that was going to happen. So that's where what the RFP looked like. I sent that out they were requiring that it went to Public Works contractors. So I went out to the Public Works Licensing Board, received a spreadsheet, went through the 2,300 and some Public Works licensed contractors in the state of Idaho, narrowed it down by the type of work. So they have, under specialties, they have codes that you can look up and see what do they do, and narrowed that down to any that was within a 2-hour drive that had those basically 4 codes. I came up with 10, and I had to spread it out a little bit farther to go to Moscow to get 10. I contacted every one of those because it doesn't include contact information on those. So I went out to the internet, stalked them. Anybody that had information, I included that, and then contacted everybody else. I was only able to get 4 to respond to me. So I sent it out to all of those. Of those 10, 2 of them were no longer doing that. 1 was losing their license. So, it really kind of narrowed that down pretty quickly. Did get a referral for a blinds person, and they actually got their Public Works license to bid on this, and then found out that their franchise agreement wasn't going to allow them to bid here because our area was sold to the Coeur d'Alene person, and they're up in Sandpoint, and so we were no longer available to do that. And the Coeur d'Alene franchise doesn't have a Public Works license. So that brings us to where we are. We only received 1 response to that bid packet. from Shoshone Glass, and that was included in there. They did line it out for the 92 windows, the 2 door packets, and everything that needs to be done for the labor. It'll be a total of $37,311.94. So what I would request from the board today is to approve this bid as the lowest responsive bid, and so that we can get that moving. Okay. The timeline also, you have to have this done before you can do the draperies, because they would tear out all the draperies to do this anyway.
Now this $37,000. Now what does that include?
That is the 2 doors replaced and all of the window seals.
Okay.
So the door packages are let's see, vinyl on 92 inches. The door by the assessor's office will be $6,100. The front entrance package will be just shy of $14,000, and then the weather stripping on all the windows will be a little over $17,000.
Okay.
For the total of the $37,000.
Now your RFP, do you have a copy of that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm done reading on that, so I can.
Oh, okay.
And that was
what we received
also,
already.
yeah,
That's
that
one
was,
that we had on our. Okay.
yeah, and that was posted on the website. That was sent out to everybody. So we gave it to everybody that we possibly could that was eligible to even bid on it within a 2-hour drive.
Okay. Now there's a website that's National Association of Procurement. Have you seen that one yet?
I'm a member. Is it NIGP?
I think so. I
I'm a
kind of
member.
stumbled on it last week.
Yeah.
And then it's got, Kootenai uses it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got my mentorship program, and I am constantly working with a lady out of South Carolina who does, I can't remember which county, and then a lady that is in charge of the entire, I can't remember which state she's in, but she's the procurement for the entire juvenile probation system.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and then got Bob, which we love Bob. Bob Perkins down in Ada County, phenomenal.
Okay.
And he is a mentor for everybody in Idaho. And so, I've got a good resource that I go out and do all these things. And that's why it took me a while to put this together, because as I'm going through and I'm looking at it going, this is going to be hard. We're going to have a really difficult time getting contractors. And these are actually, in my opinion, separate scopes. And so I did have that confirmed when you're looking at, so we're governed by the OAMR wanted Title 67, Chapter 28. And so we did that. Public Works, excuse me, I'm going to get a drink first. Public Works projects are $50,000 and above.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was looking at. We didn't want a bid split, but if one person could do it all, great. But if not, they're not bid splitting because they are separate, and they are both under $50,000.
Okay.
So we can, and that was confirmed by Bob's office.
Okay.
And I also ran that past Ben. He was comfortable with that.
Okay.
And I checked with the Idaho purchasing as well.
Okay.
So I went 3 different sources to make sure that I wasn't really trying to pigeonhole this into what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So under the exemptions, well, it's not really even an exemption. For the Idaho statute, because these are considered separate, we don't have to adhere to these guidelines. We can go to what the county deems best. So this goes into our county procurement.
Okay.
And so you can accept the bids as proposed.
Okay.
And then what I'll have to do is go back out, because now I don't have to have a public works person, because this now becomes a county. I can solicit to anybody who is able to do the work, and we'll find the bid for the window treatments.
Okay. And so that's the only thing we've been waiting on is the window.
Correct.
So rather than wait on it, you're suggesting we move forward on
this part of it.
Correct.
this part.
This is a grant, and they would like to have it completed by March. I've had a lot of conversations with OMR and gave them the rundown, and they are completely understanding of what the situation is.
Okay.
And so we'll get this started. We can prove that we're making progress, and then we'll just continue to work towards getting the window treatments.
Okay.
But we do have to have the entire scope, so the window treatments will have to be completed for us to be able to be reimbursed by the grant. So that's why going back out to non-public works, window treatment people should be able to yield somebody that'll come in and do the work.
Okay.
Would you entertain a motion, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, do we have any further discussion on it, or?
Well, I make a motion that we can discuss it.
Okay, all right.
I'd motion that we do approve the show glass portion of this, their proposal for $37,000 to do the doors and window seals.
Okay. Get a second.
I second it.
Okay. Do we have any discussion?
It seems to me that if we get that out of the way, we're making progress, and that leaves her then room to go wrestle down somebody who'll do window treatment.
Okay. Any discussion? No? Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Go ahead and move forward with it.
One thing I would request is maybe a justification in whatever terminology that you feel comfortable with, that because these are two separate projects, they do not meet the criteria for state procurement of 6728 by a political subdivision, that you're able to use local procurement practices to complete this project.
Okay, and then we need to do that in what way?
Just in the minutes.
Just in the
It's just
minutes.
a justification of accepting the bid, how you accepted it.
Okay.
Did you catch that?
Did you catch
Yeah.
that? Okay. All right.
She's good.
Any public?
Just on the, so this is just courthouse specific. So, do you really, I mean, I don't know what curtains cost. I was just trying to see if there was any money left, what you could do maybe at the sheriff's office, but if it's just the courthouse.
It was only for, the
Okay.
grant was specific to the courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and they will only reimburse what we
All
pay.
right.
And isn't it part of a historical grant?
No, that's a separate one. So
Oh, that's
that's
a
for the
separate one.
balconies through.
Okay.
And that's in cooperation with the city of Wallace through the CLG, the Community Certified Local Government.
Okay.
And that's specific to the balconies.
Okay, that sounds good.
We're working on that, but now that's a remediation concern.
All right. We will go ahead and adjourn.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was.